Bust it.
Hello out there, thanks for joining us on Political Platform. It's a Tuesday and we have all the reports for you. Anambra's elections is the one that is in focus, that Nigerians are anxiously waiting for the next election in the line of the scattered elections, as far as how some people want to call it, but it is one that came as a result of different court orders over time that makes some states to have their own elections, not within the normal schedule of the general elections. So we are in it, and the storm is gathering as political realignments and collection of nomination forms of different political parties are on in the state. We'll promise, and we're always going to be giving you updates. By yesterday, we have how many? Close to 15 politicians who have signified their intention to run on the various platforms of the political parties. And former transport minister and former the head of the Federal Road Safety Commission, talking about the Corps Marshal, Osita Chidoka, is one of those who picked the forms yesterday. Now, there is a lot of what do I call some respite from those who really saw those videos of the four law students who were killed in Rivers State in 2012. 3 got the death sentence yesterday, including a police sergeant, and they were out of the 12 that were arraigned for the murder of the 4 students. And the reports reaching us also say the police man that is attached or was attached to the Speaker of the Abia State House of Assembly. You remember him, the one who fired shots at 2 Federal Road Safety Commission officers when she was accosted, talking about the wife of the Speaker was accosted for not wearing the seatbelt, was dismissed by the police. Yesterday we spoke with the spokesperson of the first public relations officer of the police, Jimon, who confirmed to us this morning that the panel set up to investigate and try the police officer found him guilty of misuse of arms, and he has been dismissed. We are told that he's still in detention and other actions could follow. Some trials could also follow because he actually injured some persons by his gun shot. We have other reports to give to you. You have raised a lot of issues on the Fayose interview with us and the outcome of the visit to the president. The two sides of the coin, those who say he was right, those who say we were wrong, those who say we were right. We try to piece all of them together, your views, because that is what makes the program very interesting. And today we are continuing with our discussion on monitoring and tracking the budget. Remember that Maudi of the Alliance for Credible Elections was here, but we got her back following what we got the other time. And the fact that they have submitted and worked on a report, published a report, we wanted her to come back, and she's right in the studio to tell us how much we are doing to track our budgets so that our government can be held accountable. Okiri Agbonsuremi here. The whole team is in the house. Adebayo Bodurin is in the house. Adebayo, welcome to the program.
A very good morning to you out there. Just 2 quick issues. It seems as if our legislators at the national level are now singing a new tune. The Deputy Senate President Ike Kremadu said yesterday in Enugu that they may be compelled to revisit the issue of devolution of power. It just seems as if the public outcry has clearly portrayed that the legislators they misread the mood of the nation when they took that decision. Okay. The second issue has to do with the promotion of directors to permanent secretary position.
The interviews and the exams.
Yeah, the 200 staff for the exam. 300 staff for the exam. 222 failed the exam. 78 passed and moved to the second stage, which was computer-based exam. At the end of it, 59 were passed the second phase, and then they were the third phase of the exam of the screening was the oral interview. The 59 of them, they have been graded, and then there is thick politics over it. The latest information is that the names of the 59 have now, according to their grades, have been forwarded to the acting president for him to choose the 20 people who are
permanent secretaries
who are supposed to be promoted from director to permanent secretary. And the pressure is that some are even canvassing that the processes should be discontinued, and the acting president should pick the permanent secretary on their own. But I see this as a minus. If we want to pick the best, we should pick the best.
Okay, picking the best is probably what led to the exams. Mustafa Mohammed is on the platform. Mustafa, welcome to the program.
Thank you. The Inspector General of Police did well by sacking the trigger-happy policeman. But what happened to the Abia State Speaker, House of Assembly, who slapped and got a road safety official locked up? Is this a question of different judgment for different
punishments for different people?
If we're going to have a fair and just Nigeria, that speaker should have been facing prosecution by now. Moreover, he doesn't have any immunity. So why is the IG, not taking a step on that other one?
Apart from that, the wife that didn't wear the seatbelt, the Corps Marshal told us on this program that he will ensure that she's prosecuted. What is delaying it? Joma Samus on the program this morning. Joma, welcome to the program.
Thank you, Hiria.
And we also have Dr. Amici Anakwe on the program. Dr. Amici, welcome to the program.
Thank you, Hiria. Anambra is getting interesting. Thank you so much. Anambra getting very interesting. The big parties, lots of activities, but there are some other parties where things are happening. There could be dark horses, especially where young people are making waves. Young Democratic Party may likely throw up an Osozemena, and he says going by the not too young to run bill. The elderly persons will be given a good run for their money.
Well, if I ask Uju Eje, will tell you that there's job to be done.
Of course, because the law is not even about to be, signed into effect right now, because it still has to go through the state houses of assembly, and after that it will return to the national assembly for another minor vote before that. So it's still a long haul.
And another one we have to give attention to, maybe not today, but sometime, is the effect of the Biafra campaigners who say elections will not hold. I wouldn't know. The government must be doing something, because if you see the crowd of people, and there are hundreds of thousands around Nnamdi Kanu at we're told that he was not supposed to appear in the place that is more than 10 people.
10 people, yes.
He has asked the court to vary his to review his bail conditions, that he wants to be able to address crowd, but he's already doing it even before the court gives it. But I think the effect on the elections is what we also maybe take a look at, call people in Anambra State to see how much effect will their own campaign that says there should be no election, what will happen and how will they deal with it? I think that
the Southeast elders are really working on that. Some of them that I've spoken to, are already meeting with Nnamdi Kanu and some of his boys, and they are trying to, make them sheath the sword, so that whatever agitation can be prosecuted within the ambit of the law, and to ensure that there's no breakdown of peace in that region. Okay, but let me just quickly say, for the ALU boys, for the ALU students, yesterday when I saw that sentence on the three,
including a sergeant,
I just said, justice at last. It's sad that more lives have to go, but then it is good for people to know that they can't just take human lives and go scot-free. You don't just do that. More so for you, future leaders of tomorrow, just cut them short like that.
Ohiria, I think I was able to speak with political actors in Anambra, and I asked them. Yeah,
you saw them picking their forms yesterday.
Yes, I spoke with about 4 national chairmen of 4 political parties who are participating in the election, and I asked them how they're handling the issue of IPOP and the ultimatum given to the Nigerian government that elections will not hold. They gave detailed explanation that IPOP cannot say that because they do not understand what
it's a matter of them.
If you even want to hold referendum, you need a constitutional right to do that. You also need the permanent voter card. to also vote for a referendum. A referendum is like an election. So if you say the election will not hold, that means you are indirectly telling your people not to register to vote. And that will also affect the process.
You know what I would have thought? I would have thought that what IPOP would have done, I don't know, Dr. Mechi is from Anambra State. I think what we would have done is to pick a candidate.
That is it.
Choose a candidate and say, this is our candidate in this election.
Well,
and say, we will support this candidate and vote massively and take over the reins of...
UPP has said it is in some form of alliance with
IPOP.
Yes.
No official description of the nature of the alliance, but they have not hidden the fact that they want to ride on the back of IPOP. And there was one interesting thing that happened on Sunday.
Who is the candidate?
Of
who are those who have picked up the...
Osta Chidoka
okay.
has picked up. The chairman of UPP, Chekwazo Okore, has made repeated statements saying they support what indeed the issue of Biafra is. And of course, from what I've gathered from some of their key officials, there's a silent working relationship between them. Well, these are, the reality is that they control the voters at that level. Look at what happened in Anambra on Sunday at a church service where the governor was in attendance. It was disrupted. Some newspapers reported that the governor ran away to the back door, but some other official statement from the government house said no, he didn't. He stayed till the end. Some group of IPOP protested, shouting no election, one referendum, stormed that church and disrupted activities. It tells you that there's work to be done, like you highlighted. It's a big problem. We can't wish it away or sweep it under the carpet. Those stakeholders need to do more to counter the narrative from IPOP. There's no election, and educate and orientate the people on the need, what they will need, what they will lose if they don't be part of the election in this Anambra election and the 2019.
Let's go to our mailbox, politicalplatform@yahoo.com.
Thank you for joining us on the mail segment. I am Ifeinwa Mobi.
And I'm Amaka Okoro. Welcome.
Let's start with this mail from Abubakar Musa in Abuja, and he writes on amendment of the Nigerian Constitution and why devolution of power failed in the National Assembly. He says, I was taken aback yesterday in your analysis when Amechi Anakwe demanded an apology from APC for the failure of devolution of power bill. Yes, the APC campaigned and promised restructuring, devolution of power, and so on, way back before the general elections in 2015. That has been jettisoned. To this end, Governor Nasser El-Rufai and APC Chairman Chief John Odigi Oyegun have alluded to the fact that restructuring was not feasible. For now, mind you, devolution of power is an integral part of restructuring, so to speak. The failure of the bill last week from the National Assembly represents APC's position. Please check out the voting pattern. The bill's failure is not a surprise, but an ended one to the monumental records of disappointments and failed promises from APC-controlled federal government. So, Mr. Anakwe, how many apologies are we expecting? God help Nigeria.
And still in that light, but on the role of the state assemblies, Andrew Morgan in Abuja has this to say. The recent constitution amendments in the National Assembly fell short of Nigeria's expectations since power devolution was defeated. However, kudos should still be given to the legislators for making some landmark decisions. The ball now is in the court of the state assemblies, who are to concur with the National Assembly. I urge them to be in favor of the amendments, especially local government autonomy, direct funding of state assemblies, and not allow governors to influence them, as we saw during the last attempt that failed.
More on that, great man Okafor in Abuja says, thank you, Political Platform crew, for your balanced treatment of the failure of our National Assembly to at least start restructuring Nigeria. Nigerians now know that the biggest opposition to change in Nigeria is the National Assembly. You can't do referendum without them. You can't restructure without them. You can't implement the National Conference report without them. You can't amend or change our flawed constitution without them. We should not blame the APC too much, because when this National Assembly's leadership came to power by plotting civilian coup against the party's leadership, many Nigerians clapped. I blame President Muhammadu Buhari for being too apolitical. It is now clear that the National Assembly is a major part of the problem we have to deal with. God save Nigeria.
And Olu Jeff in Lagos State sends his comments in. He says, My view here is on the contrary. I think Fayose should be praised for being bold enough to challenge the APC-led government, and that, I guess, was what must have prompted them to release recent updates on President Muhammadu Buhari's health to counter any picture Fayose has, just in case he decides to release them, because there is every possibility that President Muhammadu Buhari could have been on life support in some part of the few months he's been on medical vacation abroad. Please keep up the good work.
And that's it on the mail segment. Do keep it coming to politicalplatform@yahoo.com.
Bust it. They present the popular radio program Political Platform on the Ray Power FM network. Ray Power FM Political Platform, now on television. Keep track of the country's polity and be part of the process as they discuss and put political developments in the country into perspective. It's Ray Power Political Platform on AIT Abuja.
Thank you so much. And when we go get those mails, we are always excited. And you can understand that our listeners and our viewers have a lot to contribute to our national development. Thank you for your mails. For those who write episode to us, it's not possible for us to read very, very long mails, considering the number of mails that come. Please summarize. Go straight to the point. Make your points very clear. And it's always the icing on the cake if you make suggestions. That is, if you have criticized, and then you have a suggestion how we should move forward. Now, let's quickly come to tracking the budget. And Ma Udi is joining us. She's of the Alliance for Credible Elections. And when you have elections, you elect people. One of the duties is for them to use public resources through the budgetary process and try to walk the rope to development. But if we don't track them, if we don't know what is happening around, and budgets are made, and we don't know if they are implemented year in, year out, then they are out there. And so, Ma Udi and her colleagues are working hard, and they just released a 150-page report that suggests that so many things need to be done and fast for us to track our budget. Thank you so much for joining us, madam.
Thank you for having me.
Now, let's hear from you. Give us a general perspective to your report.
Okay, last time we were here, we told you that we tracked 167 capital projects. And during the analysis... Around
Nigeria?
Around 6 states of the Federation that cut across the geopolitical zone of Benue, North Central, Jigawa, Northwest, Gombe, Northeast, Ekiti, Southwest, Imo, Southeast, Cross River, South. Now during the analysis of the report, we found out that we didn't have 49 capital project tracked in Benue. We rather had 38. But
what happened?
Okay, because some of the capital projects, for example, in Imo, you have St. Patrick Secondary School. It has 3 capital projects, but it's 1 in the budget. That is biology laboratory, chemistry laboratory, and the borehole in the same school. But it's 1 in the budget, and we want to call it 1. So, but that's why we downgraded Benue to 38, and Imo moved up to 79. Now we have 171 capital project tracked. We also in Imo we didn't see 13 capital project, 11 capital project anywhere. We also have 4 communities that...
What do you mean by you didn't see them? They were supposed to be on the budget.
They are in the budget, but we didn't see them on ground.
Were they supposed to have been executed?
They were supposed to have been executed.
And you didn't see them?
We didn't see them on ground. The 11 capital project we didn't see. In Cross River.
Did you check very well the location, get the exact location,
did you work with state officials?
Pinpointedly to determine where it's supposed to be sited?
Doctor, you know that this project is building movement of citizens to take ownership of the fight against corruption and to struggle for good governance. When we enter community, we go to the location to identify the project. We go back to the traditional rulers, to the women leaders, to the youth leaders. We bring them together to hold a meeting.
And ask them questions.
Most of the things you see, empowerment projects to provide keke napep, you will see 70 or 100. About 3 people will say, we know you two did that corrected. This person, after that, there is none. And the sewing machines, only 3 women, nothing at all. We call those ones ongoing. And doctor, in Cross River, there is a project called Furnishing Obasanjo Space Station that has no location. So it's among the 16 capital projects not seen anywhere in Cross River. So you will
furnishing of Obasanjo space centers. Centers. That's supposed to be an arm of
and there is no location, and it's a capital project under Cross River. So when we do not have a
location, and
money was allocated, and we cannot see where Obasanjo Space Center is in Cross River.
So there's one in Abuja, Obasanjo.
No, they have. I know that the National Space Research Center, what we call the Obasanjo Center or Space Center, they have they have centers all over Nigeria. Yes, there should be one in Cross River.
So we look for it, we didn't see it. I'm just giving you an example of the things we didn't see. And fortunately,
your report, let's begin from Imo. Those areas, generally speaking, those areas, when you locate, you meet with the communities, they say, look, this project is supposed to be sited here. We can't find it. Do you go back to the state, like the Space Center now? Did you have to go back to them to find out what happened, where is their location, or you just based on your?
We try to meet them in their states. They will ask us to go and collect. First of all, they will say, don't mention our name. We didn't see the project, but go to Abuja and see whether but it is specifically stated it will be furnished in Cross River. So we are not going to go to Abuja if you know you will not furnish it in Cross River. That's the beauty of our project. We work with stakeholders in the ministries, in the communities. We ask questions. And like so many projects on human rights, like in Benue, in Gombe, they are asking us, we don't know anything about this project. Go to Abuja Human Rights Commission and find out whether they did the project.
In all, how many projects were you not able to locate in all the states?
No, we have it state by state, and we try to run away from the fact that we say in Cross River we have 16, in Ekiti we have 6 that were not seen anywhere. In Imo we have 11 that were not seen anywhere. In Benue we have 14 that were not seen anywhere. In Jigawa we have 12 that were not seen anywhere, and in Gombe we have 10 that we didn't see.
How do you track the money?
Let's stop there. Let's take a break. We'll come back. Let's take some water, then we'll come back.
Bust it.
They present the popular radio program Political Platform on the Ray Power FM network. Ray Power FM Political Platform, now on television. Keep track of the country's polity and be part of the process as they discuss and put political developments in the country into perspective. It's Ray Power Political Platform on AIT Abuja.
We have to round up now because our time is up. But just before we go, Ma Odi will just ask if it will just answer 1 or 2 questions, and that is, I wish your monies were released, because we are talking of 2015, because this project we are talking about, there are 2015 projects.
Yes.
Well, I wish your budgetary allocations, monies were released for this project.
From the communities,
yes,
the same money were released.
How would the community know if the monies were released?
And also, we tend to believe with them, if you can execute similar projects in other locations. Why is your
job not to go to
we are going back to the MDAs, yes, taking the report back, encouraging them. Our project is not shame and name. Okay. What we are doing is to ensure that Nigerians arise, including senators, honorable members, both at the House of Representatives and House of Assemblies. Everybody, you and I, Nigerians arise. Let's end corruption. If we end corruption, we will have a good road network. We will have health centers and hospitals that work. We don't need to go to Ghana for me to know whether I have malaria or I have typhoid. We want the centers, like there is a great project, youth center in Enyobu, in Mbise, in Imo State. That project was in year 2013, capital budget, and it was executed, built, and in year 2015 there was 20 million to furnish it. And in Imo State, it's so beautiful that every senator, honorable member that attracted the project will put billboard and announce it with his name. It was former Senator Chris Anyanwu that attracted that project. When we started tracking the furnishing, they went and locked the doors and the fence, and they've not furnished it. We are asking them to go and furnish the project, the center.
There's no doubt that Maudi will come back on this program, because it's very, very exciting. Because we need to know some of these details. We want to know the details of them. Please, madam, get ready. When you are submitting your reports, we believe that the police, the AFCC, everybody who is concerned, they have a document to work with, because you have done your work. They can take it up from there, because it's not for you to be doing the arrest and running around who has taken the money. Now, let's wrap it up here. Political Platform will come back in another 24 hours. And when we do, we have more. Remember that you can watch us on all the various platforms that we have, on YouTube, and you can listen to us if you download the app on Raypower, and the other programmings on Raypower you can listen to on the go. Okiri Agbonsuremi here. Do have a wonderful day.
Bust it.